Joining me right now on Kumite TV is UFC lightweight slash welterweight Frank Camacho. What's going on, Frank?
Yo, what's up? What's up, dude? Oh man, just to hear the word lightweight, it's just like, oh, here we go. We're back at it.
First off, congratulations on signing a four-fight extension with the UFC. How does it feel to, kind of like get a promotion with the company?
Dude, it was actually pretty good because like after so what happened was after my last fight, right? Fuck, dude, it was a devastating knockout. And first time I've ever been finished like that in my career, you know? I mean, I mean, like it didn't hurt because like I was just out, you know. I was just like, oh shit! I just remember waking up, and then I just remember waking up like, yo, dang, dude. I was like, whatever I do, don't say what happened because you know, I always see people after they get knocked out, and you read their lips, like, what happened, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be that guy, dude. I'm not gonna be that guy. I know what happened. I was so bummed, and then I was like, man, this is the last fight of my contract. I was like, kind of going through. I was like, yeah, I had to make my way back into the UFC, but dude, man, I have a really good management team. Iridium Sports, Jason House, Jacob, and within hours, man, the UFC was interested in re-signing me. Within hours, I was just like, wow, you know, really, it's just like, man, maybe it really just it's such a good thing, maybe just to be good to people, be good to the staff, and you know, and just be good to people, you know, and good karma will come your way. And then also too, like, man, I'll bring it every fight. You know, I'll bring it every fight. So I was just looking at a different with different lenses, and just very blessed, bro. I'm very honored that I get to sign another four fights and perform at the biggest event, you know, in front of the best MMA fans.
Yeah, you have a great combination of, like you said, being good to people, and then when you step inside the cage, you bring it every fight, and people notice that. You're kind of, in a way, the anti-Connor in many ways, right? Do you think that?
That yeah, you know, I'm not, you know, more so, dude. Drew Dober, man, my previous opponent, I was very fortunate to face him, right? But like he made a post with we were bowing at each other right after our freaking war, you know? And I don't remember word for word, but it was kind of like a quote saying, "Man, we can only fight for so long, but the connections that you make with people are forever." And yeah, man, and that's very true. And some people are you know, have to step out of character. And yeah, man, I can't question them, man. Dude, they're making the seven figures, you know what I mean? And I'm here not even close to that, but I feel for myself, man, just being true to yourself and just being true to what you represent means more than anything to me. And then now that I'm a father of two, it's like now I got my boys that they're gonna be growing up, and when I'm all retired, you know, am I gonna be proud of what I said, what I had done in my career, you know? And I want to be like a good model that they can look up to, and maybe and even surpass me and be better.
Yeah, you've already definitely did that, man. Even if you retire tomorrow, you already left, a good legacy for yourself and for your kids to look up to. You took some time off after the Jeff Neal fight. Did you consciously take that time off to kind of decompress and think about what you need to do to move on forward?
Um, not not really. The UFC. I think we were trying to make a comeback earlier this year. Uh, but we knew we wanted to go back down to lightweight. So you know, I guess Sean Shelby and the UFC, they really wanted to do it right. They've known that I've had issues making 55, so you know, we're doing it the right way. We've had a like a good amount of time to get the weight down and just to kind of to prep and to kind of get my mind right. And then also too, after the knockout, it was, man, I had no idea there's a huge protocol you have to go through. You know, you have to you have to see like, many doctors, neuro neurologists, man, like all these, yeah. So the protocol is just, it's just really awesome, man, that they're looking out for the fighters and for the athletes. So yeah, took some time off, and it was actually really well needed time off, man. It's gonna be man, I finished 4 fights in like almost a year, under a year. So man, it feels good, man. I can't wait to get back in there, you know?
You mentioned going back down to lightweight. You must be dieting. Is someone helping you out with all of that?
Yeah, so I'm working with Underground Prep, and you know, I forgot to give them a shout out, but yeah, I'm doing my camp in Irvine, California, in Orange County with Team Oyama under Colin Oyama. Man, camp is going really well, dude. I'm constantly being stimulated in my mind, and I'm constantly learning, and just feels good, man. Just feels good again, and kind of just being in my just being away from the family is just kind of like, it's hard, but I know it's necessary, and the sacrifice is necessary to, you know, for the goals ahead, you know.
Dieting makes fighters hungry, literally and figuratively. Does it have the same effect on you?
Dude, I just got some food at Whole Foods, and you know, I got some Brussels sprouts and some fish, and maybe and a few more veggies, and good gracious, man, like passing the dessert section and seeing everyone eat the desserts was just like making me so angry, dude. I was like, I just want no, but yeah, you know, but I feel, man, it's like that struggle and the stress that's just gonna just push me harder, you know. And yeah, you know, there's a lot of different things, right? Anyone, if you're listening to this interview, right, you can comment on below, let us know if it's true or not. But they say that tigers or lions that are hungry right before hunting, their physically performance goes up a notch because they need to eat and they need to feed, you know. And I like to think of myself like that.
You said you're out at Team Oyama. Why did you decide to go over to that camp? Have you been there before?
So my my management team, Jason House, recommended that I come check him out, you know. And I was kind of looking for a coach, and just looking for a team. I came out twice. And I got to work with him, and yo, it clicked. Like his fighting style and his coaching style just really complements mine. And you know, it's not even like changing my style. It's really just kind of making me understand my body and my mechanics, my techniques, and how I can apply that to the fight game. So, man, the second session that I came, I was like, yo, I'm gonna do a camp here.
What have they implemented new to your training program?
You know, very, very fight specific. Like, so like for my upcoming fight against Nick Hein, right? They're not, you know, like they're not telling me or not fight specific in a way where like, hey, Frank, you're gonna go out there and just throw spinning back kicks because he's open to spinning back kicks. You're like, yo, yo, I don't throw that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, he's man, he's just been in the game for so long, and he knows, he sees what I'm strong at and how I can use that against a guy like Nick Hein.
All right, speaking of your next fight, you mentioned your opponent Nick Hein. It's going to be on June 1st. You're heading to Stockholm, Sweden. Is that your first trip out to Europe?
It's not my first trip to Europe, but it's gonna be my first trip to Sweden, you know. And I'm very excited, dude. And you know, it's kind of surreal, right? You got this little island boy from Saipan, from Guam, and you know, just your typical island kid, and people said that you couldn't, you know, like you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. But man, I'm traveling the world, and I'm seeing the world through fighting. You know, I'm meeting amazing people. I'm talking to people like you over Skype, man, because of fighting. You know, and I'm making all these relationships, and wow, it's just so mind blowing. And I try not to forget to enjoy every second of it, and be grateful for every second of it, because I know one day, not, I mean, it's not gonna be today, it's not gonna be next year, it's not gonna be 2 years, but one day it's gonna all end, and I'm gonna have to hang up the gloves. So I gotta make sure that I enjoy every the important people in my life.
Definitely. Well, Nick Hein, you probably looked him up a little bit. You probably watched a couple of his fights. How do you feel about this matchup?
Dude, he's a judo guy, man, but he never uses his judo. So I mean, I'm not counting that out. Like, I don't wanna eat my words and then see a highlight reel of my feet flying in the air after a big ass throw. But uh, first you look at him, right? Physically, he's built like a freaking tank, and he's built like a tank. He's a lefty, but I think he fights right-handed. I don't know, man. He's tough as nails. He's a fighter, bro, and we're both kind of on the same boat. We're on losing streaks, and we're trying to get a W, and get a W on our next fight. So it's gonna be a good fight. The crazy thing is that I'm a huge Redditor, right? Like, I'm big on Reddit, and like, I saw someone posted the fight on Reddit that we're fighting, and and it was so funny because they were saying like, oh yeah, Nick Hein this, oh Frank Camacho this, and they're like, oh man, Frank would definitely bring the fight out of him, and no matter what, it's gonna be an exciting fight because Frank's gonna come out. I'm like, oh man, I don't want people to think that, like I just need to be a little bit more tactical with him and tactical with my fights and be more strategic. But then again, man, you just never know, dude. I just kind of make it a fight, make it simple, make it a fight.
Well, a lot of guys can be very technical and bring the action at the same time, so it doesn't mean that you have to pick one side or the other, right?
Oh, that's for sure, for sure. But the end goal right now, man, is I have an opportunity. I have a second opportunity with the UFC, and to prove myself. And we're gonna go out there and give it all I got to get that win.
Outside of fighting, you're big into photography. You mentioned vlogging earlier. What made you interested in doing this? Is this something like a second career you want to kind of go down?
Dude, so how I got into it, right, was when you first start off in MMA, there's no real, man. You gotta have a second job. You're not gonna be making a living off of fighting, like starting off as a pro or whatever, right? So I had to figure out a way how to like market myself. So I had to figure out how to make myself a website. I had to learn how to get sponsors, and I couldn't hire graphic designers. I couldn't hire photographers. I couldn't hire videographers. But and then eventually I kind of, after taking photos and taking videos of my for the promotional side, I was like, whoa, this is freaking cool, dude. So I started taking photos of others and videos, and then it eventually became into telling stories. And I was like, man, the coolest thing is that every single person that I've ever taken photos of or videos of, there's some sort of greatness that each person has, and I'm just so fascinated by capturing that greatness within everyone's story. Like like for example, like a wedding. Like I love wedding photography because, man, you could just really see the genuine love for like couples. You know what I mean? Don't mean to be corny or nothing, right? Or like I followed. I was doing Brandon Vera's vlogs, and I was like, yo, man, this, like, Brandon Vera's a good friend of mine, but I learned so much and capture so much great things that so many people can find inspiration. Like, I did another vlog with this kid that has this he had like a situation with he was born with his intestines outside of his body, and he's getting surgery this weekend, or getting surgery soon. And he's such a freaking great kid, dude. Like, he's like above average happier kid than a lot of kids that I've met, and it's like that greatness and that greatness within himself. I feel like people can find inspiration through the videos and through the photos that I capture. And I've just been fascinated by it, and dude, definitely down the line, maybe after fighting, I would. It's something that I want to continue and yeah, and build off of. My wife is a filmmaker. She's she got into video. I mean, through me, and she's just taking it to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's. I'm just really fascinated with stories. You know, and I'm sure you can attest to that too, right? Like you, man, you interview so much people, and you could just see like there's so many different stories that
Yeah.
every single person you interview like they have, and it's so fascinating, dude, and I'm just really fascinated about that.
Yeah, me too, definitely. Of course, I try to ask questions not just about the fighting, but about them and kind of like what's going on in their life. And another thing going on in your life, or was going on in your life, was you helping your community during the typhoons. They were very devastating to the islands. Talk about that experience and, going through that natural disaster in many ways.
Yeah, so back home, right, like in Saipan and in Guam and the Mariana Islands, we're very prone to typhoons. You know, there's like so everything we always have like a typhoon season. You know, it's like around the summertime, and the islands haven't got hit by like a super typhoon in so long, probably like I don't know 10, 12 years. And the one that just hit Saipan and Tinian, dude, it was like I think like sustained winds of like 200 miles an hour. So uh, we don't even know what the gusts were. You know, I think it was the strongest storm to hit U.S. soil since the 1930s. So yo, it was devastating, dude. Like it was crazy. Like concrete buildings were breaking, and um, yeah, it was so devastating. You know, so Guam didn't get hit or Guam did get hit, but it wasn't as devastating as Saipan and Tinian, and I just felt like, man, I'm blessed to be in a position to be able to help, and or blessed in a position to be able to pull to make connections to help, and I felt it was my calling, bro. Like I just felt not even obligated, like or like you're not my dude. Like it was just something that I just had to do, like, and I'm sure others would have done the same if I was in help, So, uh, yeah, got a bunch of made a lot of connections and connected a lot of people to make donations, and man, and honestly, bro, it was so cool to see the community come together and help each other out. That was a really humbling experience.
It's just amazing, man, to see that and you doing that. One last thing before I let you go. Music and sports, they go together. What's on your playlist, man? Give us something. Give us a sneak peek.
Dude, man, man, music is my weak point, bro. Like, dude, I'm so bad with music, but uh, like, I don't know my music, but I'll listen to like island reggae to Bob Marley. Shoot, what am I? And I like local artists on Guam, the Four Piece Band. Um, shoot, the John Dang Show. If you've never heard of them, you got to check them out. And then of course like your regular island reggae, right? But when times get tough and I'm on the treadmill, dude, and I don't want to freaking run, and I'm like, I got like 10 more minutes to go, then it's the freaking Rocky playlist, dude. The Rocky freaking playlist, bro. Like I'll just put that thing on repeat and just freaking hit it. And for Rocky, right? So my second son, I have two boys. My youngest son, he's 9 months. I think he's gonna be 10 months soon. I think he's 10 months. I don't know. Anyway, his name is Rocky, and he's named after Rocky Balboa. Like I'm such a huge Rocky fan. Before every fight week, I always I watch Rocky 1. I watch Rocky to Rocky 4, and just I love it. I love his story, man, and not even just the story of Rocky, but the story of Sylvester Stallone that led him into the show and to his success. But yeah, that's my playlist, bruh.
All right, man. June 1st, UFC on ESPN Plus 11, Stockholm, Sweden. I always appreciate the time, Frank, and good luck to you, man, on your fight. See you soon.
For sure, appreciate it, man. We'll catch up again and we'll recap. Hey, Huffy Day guys, man, Frank the Crank Camacho here. I just want to thank all my sponsors and all my supporters. Stroll Guam, download the app on the App Store. Man, they're a huge supporter. They sponsor my vlog actually, and super stoked. And just everyone back home and all the MMA fans around the world. And you, thank you, brother, for having me on the show. And I really, really appreciate all you guys.